Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal. And well, the first thing that I wanted to comment it is that it is important to notice how you are feeling because people could present a lot of tiredness or vice versa. The inverse effect after a full moon. And yesterday at night we had a great influx of energy. And this always is always synchronic with transits of transpersonal planets. It is very common, for example, to have solar storms with activations of Uranus, not only Uranus in Taurus, Uranus in general. And as we are experimenting the last square between Mars in Leo and Uranus, that is saying goodbye to Taurus, for a few months from July of this year, it is very common that we are feeling this a lot. In fact, I mentioned this in the video of the energies of the week. It is a transit that could shake our bases once more to let go of old spaces. But these last events with Uranus in Taurus, they are closing cycles that are bigger. They are actually connected to everything that we have experimented in that area of our natal chart since 2019. And they happen to align ourselves with new timelines. This means with timelines that respond to the vibration that the Earth is emitting and that we are all called to adapt because that's why it is a planetary transition. The Earth is an entity, a live entity that receives light, and everything that inhabits it does it. But in the practice, we are all in different processes, and in order to move forward to the next phase in a collective way, such as I was saying this in the individual plane, we need to do an integration that can embrace a critical mass, the one that the universe considers. So let's go to something that is more practical with the full moon, the moon in Capricorn that is already there, because the moon in Capricorn accompanies a lot to focus in practical things, to recognize what we need to sustain with perseverance, because results in the world of matter depend on the energy that we put in a sustained way regarding what we want to create, but also on the limits, the boundaries that we can establish to what is not in coherence to what we want to create with what we want to create. Well, today my English it is failing. Okay, so I'm going to put an example. Let's suppose that you want a particular project to grow. Obviously, you have to take a concrete action to build it. And in that development, with the learnings, the challenges of life, life itself is going to teach us how to create capacity to sustain greater structures. This is vital because if I don't know, a person wants to have a school of mystical knowledge, or it could be, a bread business. It is the same. The important thing it is that it is truly related to what the soul wants. That is very important. But in order to make that structure grow, we have to learn things relating to that goal, and knowing how to develop leadership, taking decisions, creating agreements, fair agreements, etc. Because if that happens from day to night, if someone presents for us that role, we want to know how to occupy it. So this applies for everything to the experience. This is a Capricornian example, but it truly works for everything. In the case of Venus, we have to be in capacity to offer those things that we want to receive, and vice versa. And this also requires development, because for many of the programmings that I have talked in this channel in many videos, it is very common that everyone manifest imbalances regarding these things along the way that we need to correct, both in both things, in cultivating to learn to give certain things and to learn to receive. So that's why the true desires of the soul, they propose a very evolutionary path. They propose a more authentic version of ourselves. And many people use these days this term of my best version, but truly it is the version that was always there, but have let it go off had let go of the shells, the layers that prevented us from expressing authentically. And we have always something else that we can let go of. It is an infinite path. But what I'm trying to say is that creating this capacity to sustain greater things also requires to know how to limit, to put a limit. Because if, for example, a person wants to materialize a relationship that can be aligned with its values, sustain that relationship in growth, but that person is giving energy to other people that are not accomplishing that, basically, it is not generating the space so the new can enter. And I am explaining this because mainly the square between Saturn in Aries and Jupiter in Cancer, it is very linked with this. It has levels of depth, but I am trying to talk in a general way. So this is about recognizing what we need to expand and nourish, and where to contract and limit. Where we need to learn to connect more with our emotions, with our inner world, taking care of what helps us to create home in ourselves and in our reality, or when our emotions are being overwhelming. It is not this expression, the one that I want to use, but yeah, when our emotions are coloring our reality to the point that we are losing focus, direction, and our capacity to take action, in which areas we require to be more independent and to give a structure and to have determination and courage, or when perhaps we could act in a despotic way, or we are just very focused in certain goals, disconnecting of our inner world, intuition, of the things that are important to nourish, including ourselves, our circle, the people that we love. So this is very important to take in account. Each one of us, we have to discover where to rebalance the energy. And as a last comment today, something that I am seeing very, very active, because, well, tomorrow it is perfected, but this is part of the full moon too in Sagittarius. The sun in Gemini perfects the square with the karma nodes. Therefore, the choices, because square extensions with the karma nodes propose, the direction of evolution, and other direction that could imply, sustaining something that is known. And well, the North Node is never something comfortable, but the North Node in Pisces has this particularity that perhaps we don't know quite exactly where we are going, but we know that we have to go. And that could be something that it is not helping to the mind to be stable, because what the mind wants many times is that everything can fit in a logic structure of what we already know. But the evolutionary thing in here requires precisely to surrender to the most elevated path without having everything controlled, because we can even trust in that whatever thing it is manifesting in the experience, it is going to be the thing that has to manifest for our greatest growth. But while overthinking, overanalyzing, putting the focus in what is lacking, that is the regressive pattern of the South Node in Virgo. And well, if there is something that we aren't understanding right now, that revelation could reach us if it's part of the sense of the soul, because we are not going to understand everything in here. We don't have we have physical limits in here, in this plane. We cannot understand everything, but if that is aligned with the sense of our soul, there is a possibility by moving forward in the things that we are seeing clearly right now. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.